don't think we have anything else going on now. Yeah, just questions and answers. Get back to Footfall and talk to Calcazar. Okay. Mysterious sickness has struck the clan. Yeah. I think that's another one we've seen before. So, Footfall is here. So we'll just head up here with a safe jump. And then head down here with another safe jump. And that will get us to Footfall. I wonder if we can finally go here now that we've gotten a lot farther in various tech priesty quest lines. Or are you still closed off? My guess is it's still closed off. Lord Captain, the station's airlocks have been sealed from the inside. A Vox recording is stating that the priesthood of the Altar Templum Calixis X-17 Sanctuary has no desire to communicate with the laity and are refusing access to guests on basis of the Adeptus Mechanicus privilege of inviolability, granting them sole jurisdiction over their sacred sites. Yeah, I was hoping that maybe Pascal would have some sort of connection there that could get us access. Because I think we haven't been there yet, right? That's just been a question mark the entire game. Let's go to the Liege's residence, which I guess means we just need to go to the atrium. Do we take Argenta? No, we take Heinrichs. We're going to meet the Inquisitor. We need Heinrichs with us. For sure. Alright, let's level you up. Just 2 levels. I've got all these things marked as interesting things I want, and we're not going to get them. I mean, that one seems interesting if we're regularly charging around. Making ourselves priority target is probably the smartest for our warriors. Yeah, we're gonna go that route. Will Heinrichs get a turn this plot thread? Do you mean a turn in battle? In which case, no. Probably. Or do you mean, will he be involved in the plot thread itself, in dialogue and whatnot? In which case, yes, probably. Yeah, thick skin seems good. There you go. You are now leveled up.
I won't tolerate weakness.
So, yeah. We need to meet with Calcazar and find out why he seems extremely sketchy in his actions. Like, is he heretical? Maybe hold back so we can see everyone's new abilities? I suppose we could, assuming a combat happens. What brings you to me, Ignatius? Incendia looks up from her parchment and inquires tensely. I'm going to see Calcazar. I have questions for him. I'm not going to tell her she needs to cease her judgments. She's gone overboard, but not to an extent that I think is necessarily evil or needs to be stopped. I'm going to see Calcazar. I have questions for him. I'm afraid you will not have the opportunity to ask them. The Lord Inquisitor has left Footfall. He charged me with the defense of the Furibundus system and departed on a secret mission in great haste. None are privy to its details. Incendia's tone carries a note of wounded pride. Alright, I bid you farewell. Take joy in the sight of a new and transformed Footfall. Incendia tirelessly closes her eyes and pulls out a small book of Drusian prayers and starts reading. A serene smile soon spreads across her face. According to the Footfall's residents, the Lord Inquisitor and his people departed from the station with an unknown destination. Perhaps the palace still holds clues that could tell the rogue trader where Calcazar is headed. Very well.
Victory awaits!
Let's head up to the palace and see if we can determine where he was going. Hi, Frosher. The old servant casts a sharp, appraising glance at you. How can I be of use to you, your lordship? It's a trap, just a guess. Seems reasonable. I mean, I still think that Calcazar has abandoned... has gone to heresy. Too far. Obviously, some Inquisitors do step into heresy. You know, fight fire with fire, but I think he's crossed that line. How can I be of use to your lordship? Arrows of Koronus, we are too late. Elentok, at your word, I will track down that Mon key to the ends of the galaxy. Fury rings in Irliet's voice. We'll look around first. The hall bears the marks of a cleanup, quick and thorough and unceremonious. The smell of ash from burned reports hangs in the air. Every trace of the Lord Inquisitor's stay at the palace has been destroyed. The only reminder of it is the elderly servant sticking out like a nail amidst the emptied space. Where's Calcazar? The Lord Inquisitor is away on an urgent mission. Frosher's colorless voice matches his starkly unhelpful reply. They all step and eventually fall into heresy if they live long enough. Many do. Some of them are very puritanical and avoid it. Usually it eventually gets them killed. By not being willing to bend. Yeah. Oh, is that just the burning? Okay, yeah. There's the burning documents there. Looks like there's still plenty of them around and on the floor that we can find something of use, probably. He has abandoned you here, then. My master has no need of my services on his present expedition. I was tasked with cleaning up. As soon as the conversation turns to Calcazar, deferential and ecstatic overtones brighten the servant's dry voice. I wish to know where he has gone. Lord Inquisitor warned me that your lordship would inquire about that. He left me instructions. The servant's face relaxes as though he has fallen asleep. What he says next carries an echo of Calcazar's rumbling voice. Your lordship, I regret that we never spoke. A matter of special importance has forced me to leave Footfall. You earn the Lord Inquisitor Calcazar's trust. There are few boons more precious to be found in the entire Koronus Expanse. So he trusts us. Because we were always siding with him. So maybe he will give me the information. As you may guess, I have a plan for defending the Expanse but the events on Euphrates II have shown that the plan is compromised. The breach of secrecy has left no time for preparations. I must accomplish something monumental and dangerous. Some would say too dangerous, but I hope that your loyalty and agile mind will lead you to fully appreciate what I intend to do. That is why I'm giving you an option to find me, and I hope join me. I'm traveling to the ancient dimensional gate in the Porta Septenum system, and beyond if you wish. You can follow me and share with me the burden of responsibility for what is to come. And if not, pray for me, for I could use any help I can get. The Emperor protects Ignatius von Valencius. So yeah, there was a system that had a dimensional gate to the webway. Is he planning on going into the webway with the device that ruins technology? Or maybe using it to destroy the dimensional gate? Well, no, he says it's a dimensional gate in that system and beyond, so I think he is planning on traveling through it. That's it? Heinrich looks at Frostar in confusion and anger. I regret to say that no specific instructions were given in your regard, Master Van Calyx. Yeah. Everyone, all of his servants are not as important to him as you would like. Abelard winces, and once again the Lord Inquisitor permits himself to treat the rogue traitor as a common servant. It baffles me that you are still willing to put up with this audacity, Lord Captain. Kill the servant. It's confidential information. Its confidentiality must be protected. Ah. What was the plan Calcazar was going to execute? Of that I'm ignorant, your lordship. It was decided due to secrecy concerns that I should not know the details. Do we kill the servant? Calcazar said that he was extremely important and useful. Been with him for a long time. But also, he left him behind to carry out a message. And so he probably recognized the possibility that I would then erase the message afterwards. I see no need that I have to kill him. If he's a good servant, hopefully there's not going to be a problem with us leaving him alive. Then I must go. Farewell, your lordship. I hope you help my master achieve what he set out to do. Yeah. I don't know about this. So he wandered off to Porta Septenum. Xavier Calcazar's expedition went through an ancient dimensional gate. To catch up to him, the Lord Captain will have to venture into the unknown.
I'll lay claim to the stars.
I just want to know what his goal was. Because it seems very strange. Hello.
Servants of the Emperor, keep the restricted zones on Footfall.
An entire group of people salutes you, most of them an escort of honor consisting of members of retinues, associates, secretaries, bodyguards, and assorted others bow deeply to you and shout their greetings, making a lot of noise. It appears the news of your impending departure has already spread throughout the station. Well, that's not good for confidentiality, but sure. Lord Inquisitor has left us, and now you too? Footfall seems remarkably empty after recent events. All our decent patrons are taking wing. There is word among my flock that rogue trader Von Valencius is going on a perilous voyage, so accept this blessing for the journey, noble Ignatius. Communicative interaction option unlocked. Purpose of data exchange, strengthening ties and delivering a gift, material assets, a donation to an ally. Useful acquaintance. A man with a scraggly beard bows deeply to you, shaking with terror and awe. Riza, a known pirate, outlawed, and peddler of unholy artifacts, was executed. So this is the new leader of their group. Just a faceless person since I killed Riza. Glory to the Emperor, your lordship. You might not remember me at all. He seems to really hope that is the case. I'm a merchant from the Fellowship of the Void, which has survived on and around Footfall by your good graces. Chartist Captain Asterius Thorfast. Who are you? Probably the Navy. Yeah, an officer in Imperial Navy uniform, holds his hands in the signs of the Aquila. It is an honor, your lordship. I'm here on my superior's orders to pay respects to House Von Valencius. So these are the various groups that we did our merchantry with. Some of them more so than others. Octaviana, the Amsakis is going to have to get by without my tips for a while. But my partners and I are still hoping to partake of your riches in the future. Unfortunately, Vladimir did not succeed in establishing a robust business relationship. Yeah, you've seldom cooperated with the Casablanca mission. It's true. I hope you and I can set this right upon your return. You really ought to give up the smuggling, or you'll end up like someone we both know. Expect you to maintain order on the station, quit acting like a bartender, and start getting used to being a criminal kingpin. I'm not going to tell her she has to give up smuggling. Like, yeah, it could lead to her being killed like Vladim, but she knows the risks. I expect you to maintain order on the station. We've learned our lesson from recent events, and as for those who haven't learned theirs, I'll see to it that you can personally string up those slow-witted fools once you're back. Is blessing me the only thing you're here to do, Hieronymus? And to pledge my help. You have become a paragon of true virtue in the eyes of the cult of St. Drusus, earning the trust and respect of its congregation. So because we have such high relationship, go forth without fear. The cult of St. Drusus will watch over your subjects' faith. You are one of the pillars of faith in the Expanse, and thus it would not be appropriate to see you off to the ungodly dark morass between the stars without a gift. Other and lesser offerings will be delivered to your ship, so that you may have no want for anything on your journey. Crusade plate armor. Wow. I guess I'll have to check for anyone who wears heavy armor that's better than what they're currently wearing. May the Emperor help you in your undertaking. Do not forget about mercy, good shepherd, as important as justice. I have no answers for you. May the Emperor help you in your undertaking. Keep the faith, young Von Valencius. The Expanse needs your faith. Why have you come, Opticon? Subject status assessed as highest trusted ally in accordance with Mutual Support Manual. Please confirm your readiness to receive a fee donation contribution from the Cognizance Fleet. Asset description, standard expeditionary supply set for a Revelation 2 voidship and a personal gift tool blessing. Burden of Servitude. It is a Adeptus Astartes bolter. Okay, we'll have to see how it compares to the bolter he has right now. Burst attacks cost +1 AP more. That's not great. After firing a burst attack, single shot attacks with the bolt pistol gain +50 damage until the end of combat. This effect stacks. So every time you do a burst with this, single shots become better and better. Like a stacking bonus. Huh. Farewell, my comrade. Remember Euphrates 2, or glory to the Omnisci Tech Priest. Glory to the Omnisci Tech Priest. Glory to the Emperor, Rogue Trader. The best of functional prosperity to you. Address the trembling pirate. What do you want? The Fellowship of the Void is desperately hoping that upon your return, you'll appreciate our willingness to cooperate and the prospects for great mutual benefit that our cooperation opens up. You've seldom cooperated with them. Yeah. When I return, I expect you to have learned to act like the Fellowship of the Void's new leader and not a sniveling wimp. Tell your associates they work for me now. How dare you show up here and tarnish my good name by talking to me, pirate scum? Just turn away without deigning the wretch with a reply. Yeah. I mean, it's the group of pirates. I don't really think I am ever going to be wanting to have a close relationship with them. I'm just going to turn away without deigning to reply. The pirate wipes the sweat from his brow, evidently relieved, and turn to the officer. What are your orders? My commanders tasked me with letting you know how they strongly value your allyship with House von Valencius. Although at times we have not managed to build a powerful alliance, they believe that we will be able to strengthen our treaties. I thought we had a good relationship with you. Yeah, highly values. And bring the light of the Imperium to the Expanse going forward someday. Protect the Expanse while I'm away. I expect my worlds to be under your special protection. Do your duty, but do not be needlessly harsh. The Expanse is still inhabited by free people. Protect the Expanse while I'm away. We will not forget our duty, your lordship. These stars will be ours. It's time to depart. Farewell. A multitude of voices answers you with good luck wishes, blessings, parting advice, and words of respect, shouting over each other, but alike in their sincerity. For a second, you feel especially clearly that you likely will not see any of these people ever again. I'm guessing this is the way the game is saying that we are going to endgame. Like, once we step onto this mission and go through that portal,
A new challenge for me.
there's no going back, probably. Anything further from you, Incendia? Before I head out. What brings you to me? Nothing. Alright. Nothing further from you. Is there anything else? Incendia's there. Koronus. No. I was wondering if there was anything else of interest here on station, but I don't think there is. I don't actually want to go to the Amsekis. Yeah, return to the ship. Your lordship, we have a long expedition ahead of us. It would be reasonable to replenish supplies, ammunition, spare parts, better equipment. Who knows what we are about to face? A sensible piece of advice, I still have unfinished business at Footfall, or I already have everything we need. Again, this is feeling like a finish up what you need to do, because we are out of here. I already have everything we need. Thy will be done, your lordship. Okay, so yeah, we just need to go to Porta Septenum, which I believe was up here somewhere. Maybe? Or maybe not. I could just be missing it. Porta Septenum. And it probably has a quest marker over it, I would guess. How am I not seeing it? There it is. Okay. So probably going here is the fastest route. Actually, technically there's a route from here over to there. I just have to finish it up, but it already exists. So yeah, let's go from here up to here. No. Go from here up to here. There we go. Then from here we can safely go to here. Then over to here. Not sure why I made that a safe trip. There was probably something that I thought was important here. We'll improve that trip. I still have so much insight. I could have made a bunch more of these paths safe, but I didn't. It really is interesting to me, though, that there's no limits to how far you can stretch things. Like this one that travels all the way across the map, where I could have just had any path I want and just be like, hey, I want to go there now, so just build me a path. It's an interesting choice. Warp jump passed without incident, except crew members on bridge duty. For the duration of the voyage, they heard laughter. It seemed to come from outside through the airtight seal of the ship's massive windows. The laughter went on and on. And here we go to Porta Septenum. A warp breach. Ungodly fiends spreading sorcerous disease walk the lower decks, gathering a cohort of infected voidsmen. If no measures are taken immediately, an entire bay could be turned into a den of heresy. So we could fight them ourselves. We could just send a squad with armor kit, melee weaponry, and ranged weaponry. We don't have holy gifts to use. We'll send a squad. The victory over the rogue trader's enemies came at a high price. Still, the decks have been claimed of warp spawn, albeit it took the blood of hundreds of voidsmen to wash away any evidence of their presence. And here we are in this system. Is this the system that I'm thinking of that had the giant webway gate? There's no telling what awaits beyond the gate, but one thing you know for certain: there's no turning back. It is the point of no return. Ensure that you've taken care of any unfinished business, procured all necessary equipment, explored every world, and completed any desired colonial projects. You will no longer be able to do so after passing through to the other side. And yes, this is the one that has that giant gate. If we go to party inventory and look at all the things we got recently, let's divvy them out. So we've got the heavy armor. And it's nowhere near as good as what he's wearing. I guess he's wearing power armor, so that makes sense. Pascal, you can't wear heavy. You can't wear heavy. I guess I don't have many people that can wear heavy armor. Yeah, I'm just going down the line. And it's just Abelard, and it's not as good as his power armor. Fantastic. Okay, the new gun, how does that compare to your pistol? It is better. The 3 AP burst is kind of rough, but has better damage, better armor penetration, more additional hit chance. Shorter range, which isn't great. But it's not as good as just his standard bolter. But if I do a couple of bursts, then all single shots from there become far more effective, which is probably worth it. Is there anything else I want to do before we head out? I suppose I could go to Vibo 6. We're nearly done with all of our projects. No more DLC, right? We are done with the DLC as given thus far. There will be more DLCs that come to the game. Let's just make a course to Vivos while we're here. And then make it safe. And that'll connect this system to our network. I should probably also talk to all of my companions, just to see if there's anything else going on. One of the more influential patrons of the Expanse has learned a dirty secret about the Von Valencia's dynasty and is now blackmailing the rogue trader. We can pay them 2 profit factor. We could choose to not give in to their demands, or we could pay the Casabelica mission 1 profit to arrange some more pressing problems for the blackmailer. We don't know the consequences of not doing this, but paying off a blackmailer is always the wrong call. So yeah, we're going to not give in to their demands, and if things get worse, then we have the influence to deal with it. Soon the Expanse is shaken by scandalous evidence proving that Lady Theodora's plundered ships and colonies belonging to her rivals. The dynasty's reputation has been sullied. That's fine. Any problems with Theodora, we can overcome just by the fact that we aren't her. Vivos 6 is a quiet haven for and a place to ponder the state of one's soul, a fortress of repentance complete with an order of battle flagellants. Will offer lawbreakers a chance to find solace in being reborn as a crusader. Yeah, that all sounds wonderful. Cool. If we come back, does they... Yep. It did finish it up, so... Lord Captain, Vivos 6 begs for help. Something terrible prowls the planet, searching for a way to wipe out the planet's inhabitants. Victims died in small groups at first, slowly dismissed it as simple accidents. A poisoning, a crashed transport, a fire. The death toll has started to rise, and explaining everything as mere coincidence is no longer an option. The enemy appears to be testing out different methods of killing your subjects, like it's looking for the most efficient way to murder as many of them at once as possible. Our pick traps sometimes catch sight of a blurry dark shadow walking among the people, but no one has actually seen it with their own eyes. What kind of accidents are happening there? Various sorts of mechanical failures, ventilation systems emitting substances that have no business being there, Ausfexes registering spikes of radiation, maintenance systems shutting down for no apparent reason. It all resembles extermination experiments, with your servants playing the role of test subjects. Any ideas? The art of hunting relies on the art of hiding. You cannot see your target, then make it so the target cannot see you. Deceive its senses and seize your advantage. A predator walks among your people. Well, then it's time we became predators ourselves. Your servants can't see it and don't know where its lair lies, but I will tell you how to find it. You need to spark the beast's curiosity, leave something it craves out in the open, and mark it so that you can track the beast as it's carrying the bait away in its jaws. That is how we hunt prey on Fenris. Elliot makes a good point. Find some effective disguise against our foe and wait for it to strike. Where Ulfar's advice is sound, we leave bait for our enemy. Or just no one can see it, but snares do not need eyes. Leave some gifts for our unwanted guest. 100% on each of these. I don't really like the bait idea. Hide out and wait for it to strike makes a lot more sense. So Elliot makes a good point. Find some effective disguises against our foe and wait for it to strike. May the hunters find patience. The colony's wardens experimented with several means of disguise, but did eventually succeed in hiding themselves from the eyes of their mysterious foe. The warden, whose unfortunate lot it was to keep watch inside an air purifier, spotted a strange shadow right between the working mechanisms and the lead cover. The enemy had grown careless and finally revealed itself. The brave warden raised the alarm, wounded the creature, and fell in battle, but his comrades managed to chase the beast away. Cornered in its den, the monster fought its final battle and was slain. It was a terrifying xenos with a metallic skeletal body and a single emerald eye. Its lair turned out to be a crypt-like chamber, and beneath it was an entire fortress buried in stone. The walls were covered in glyphs similar to the mysterious patterns that the mad convicts had been drawing. The chamber also contained the dissected remains of the missing miners. The omniscience servant studied the bodies, the crypt, and the xenos corpse, hypothesizing that the inhuman belonged to a caste of sages among its kind. It had remained in stasis for ages, untold, but had recently awakened either by mining efforts or the explosions caused by the Drakari invaders. After killing everyone who had approached its lair, the creature tried to wake its brethren, but millennia of tectonic shifts had crushed the underground fortress. The creature was alone. We got an ancient xeno mechanism. Whenever the wearer ends their turn, they deal 12 energy damage with int armor penetration to all adjacent creatures. If the number of damaged creatures exceeds 3, the wearer suffers the staggered effect. Huh. The fearsome insect, the ones that assailed the colony, were the only tool the Xenos had left, so it chose to lie in wait. But when the heretics of the Final Dawn sabotaged the fortress's reactor in their attempt to destroy the planet, the Xenos grew restless and started searching for a way to exterminate the humans. Now the last Xenos survivor was dead, and so was its entire race, or at least so prayed every denizen of Vivos 6. Okay, that's Vivos done. Not you, I'm wanting this. So Foulstone. You are still working on your... No, Foulstone's done. Janus just finished. Right, we just did the death cult of the Reaper Emperor. which was one of the, like, tier 4 options. So Great Fire, territory for new agri-complexes, can be gained in only one way, the way of fire. Sure. Which we're probably not going to have time to complete, assuming we go straight to the final mission. Dargonus is done. Vibo 6 we've just seen is done. And Kiava Gamma could do a last thing. Sky Barrier. Euphrates 2 is lost, and the Adeptus Mechanicus now seek new citadels for their hallowed production lines. Kiava Gamma can house workshops that will forge voidship weapons. Interesting. Takes a bunch of stuff, but it would give us... all allies gain plus 20% minimum damage to their ranged attacks. That sounds great. Rogue Trader's weapons carry the blessing of the supreme armors of the Adeptus Mechanicus. We'd get Triumph and Fury, a serpent of embossed lines coils around the barrels of these holy weapons, complete chronicle of the exploration of the systems called the Lathe Worlds by the servants of the Omnissiah. Medium-range broadside macro cannons which fire 5 shots, dealing 30 damage per shots. That sounds pretty good. Explorators like us more, and we gain a bunch more weapons. Not that we need a bunch more weapons. Power of Plasma. Euphrates 2 is lost, and the Adeptus Mechanicus now seek new citadels for the hallowed production lines. Kiava Gamma can become a sacred assembly site for plasma drives endowed with the Emperor's grace. Again, more stuff. And we get engine assembled by the mysterious clique of engine elders. Countenance hidden by veils of open work plasteel, and whose wisdom is so great that the servants below the rank of Magos are forbidden from even addressing them. Plasma drive produces 15 speed along with average acceleration and braking. I don't think that's as good as what we have right now. And then a bunch of mechanisms, which we don't need at the moment. And last, warp revealers. Or warp revelations. Euphrates 2 is lost, blah blah blah. Kiava Gamma can be set up a research complex for warp technologies. A dangerous, closely guarded secret of the Adeptus Mechanicus. Again, based on reputation with the Explorators. Gives us Ethereal Visor. The wearer's psi rating is increased by 1. As long as the wearer has 100% wounds, they deal 65% additional damage with their psychic powers and psychic stabs. Really? Profit factor, lower security. I think the helmet I'm wearing, though, is actually better. No, psi rating is increased by 1 against demons for each rank of dogmatic. So against demons specifically, we have a +5 psi rating, but against everything else we don't. Versus if we took that option, it would give us a +1 psi rating always, and when we were at max health, which we aren't because we're lighting ourselves on fire. No, this would just be a +1 psi rating, which I don't think is worth it. Because we do still take like 2 fire damage from burning ourselves. Yeah. So maybe that isn't as worth it as I was thinking. I think Sky Barrier feels the best. Good guns for our allies and a really good gun for ourselves. That is completed instantly. So let's reopen that menu. There we go. Your Lordship, a cryptic message arrived from Kiava Gamma. The Fabricator Sensor reports that they have beheld the Eye of the Divine. I requested details from your less devout servants, and they clarified that the Inquest Group, which had been investigating the many inexplicable events that had taken place on the planet, followed a trail of mysterious binaric harmonics and came upon an ancient and abandoned data complex. It is connected to the Manufactorum by a maze of complicated lines and contains a gargantuan data loom. The mechanism's markings show that it is designation, or I should say its rather menacing name, is Null Caliph. Null Caliph is immersed in sacred astrogational calculations and has shown no inclination to make contact. The tech priests that connected to it were punished for their intrusion with a lethal ejection of the motive force. The only thing they managed to find out is that the spirit of the data loom is not bound to the vows of compliance that would normally restrain a machine spirit of such power. This astoundingly mighty entity bows to no one, driven only by its own aims. Okay, we already could 100% persuasion or tech use. Let's look at the options. What is this abandoned complex? It's an ancient production facility, far older than the colony itself. Some assembly lines bear the marks of the Cognizance fleet. Perhaps the first explorers who came to the Koronus Expanse set up a station on the yet uninhabited planet. The station was then consumed by the developing industrial colony and eventually forgotten. It is possible that whatever plans they had for it were so clandestine that its creator's death ended up casting it into oblivion. The catalog contains no data to support this hypothesis. It does, however, contain the designation Null Caliph. The Null Caliph Initiative is a project that was fabled of the fabled Archmagos Opticon 107, whose function was the initial exploration of the Koronus Expanse. All information on this project was removed from the catalog as per the Fleet Conclave's decree following Permissibility Hearing 16. By that same decree, Archmagos Opticon 107 was stripped of his title as the Conclave's Prolocutor Supremus. I want to know more about this data loom. What is it? A sacred computational mechanism of great power. Its body is vast, and the wisdom and metal of its machine spirit would befit an imperial titan. Machines of such might and splendor are kept carefully hidden from the eyes of the laity and worshippers on certain planets as great logis oracles, sacred angels of the Omnissiah, or demigods. The Null Caliph's structure includes remarkable pieces of archaeotech, part of it extending far throughout Kiava Gamma, like a void kraken's tentacles. We now know where the warp transmitter, modified by Hubris Delphim, came from. It must have been part of this mechanism. The data angels that were encountered earlier were born of its cogitational might. Full of vigor, they soared around its computational aura, which radiates into the noosphere. Their response to our presence has been favorable thus far. Because your servants have been monitoring and the execution of Procedure 0C, Null Caliph 0C, they rather boldly believe that they have gained some insight into certain patterns of its supercalculation. They claim that they could help achieve an understanding with Null Caliph or defeat it in battle. Do we have any idea of what it might be calculating? All we have is a hypothesis, according to which Null Caliph can see into the warp, similar to a navigator. Any interaction between technology and the warp is, as you are well aware, kept under the careful supervision of the Adeptus Mechanicus, so you can imagine just how unique this mechanism is. According to the Magi, it can calculate routes throughout the Imperium without rest or fear of corruption. Given the fact that it has no human soul, they claim that its power is comparable to that of a novator of a navigator house. Apparently, Procedure 0C was initiated by this mechanism to integrate Magi with high psychic potential in order to expand its own computational capacity. So, it's essentially attempting to be a navigator, but a massive, extremely capable one. And maybe that could be used to find a route back to the Empire, which is currently blocked off by the Maw. Currently, its calculations, operating at full capacity, are approaching completion. We assume the perfect execution of Procedure 0C contributed to this. Have we tried communicating with it? The Great Calculator seems indifferent to mortals. It has expressed a lack of desire to interact with us or destroy us. I mean, we did have people try plugging in, and apparently it fried them with the motive force, so yeah. The Tech Priest reached out to Null Caliph once more using certain excerpts from the dictates of Procedure 0C, and the machine's reaction was benign. It showed no hostility. So, we're going to check with our advisors, but right now, without our advisors' help, we have a 100% persuasion. Make contact with Null Caliph. I wish to form an alliance with it. Tech use 100. This is my planet, and the machine must submit to my will. Or demolition 62. I'm authorizing the dismantling of this dangerous mechanism. So, first, what do my advisors make of this? The great machine spirit that identifies itself as Null Caliph bears potential as a valuable ally, one that could replace the need for navigators comprised of fallible flesh. We must make contact with this holy entity, for to do so is to honor the Omnissiah's tenets. That the tech priests who had the audacity to disturb Null Caliph were deprived of their motive force is a testament to the might of this data voice. I hold the knowledge to create a mediator that could interface with the fearsome machine spirit and ease the burden of its revelation on unprepared minds. It stares into the warp then it's vulnerable to attacks from the warp. Never thought I'd ever suggest something like this, but if we want to make that machine obey us, we should assault it through the Imperium. Probably not, Adira. A navigator data loom? This abomination makes a mockery of every navigator house's legacy. The very fact of its existence is profoundly sickening and vile. No Caliph must be destroyed post-haste. Allow me to send word to the other navigator houses. They will waste no time in dispatching their forces to destroy this monstrosity. Yeah, I like you, Cassia, but I'm probably going to disagree with you on that. Wow, we have a ton of options now. Pascal, create your mediator and forge an alliance with Null Caliph. That'll give us +1 complacency and a cogne simulacrum. Grants 25 logic. The wearer gains solve simulacrum ability that costs 3 AP and triggers a logic test for the wielder with a negative 167 penalty. What? On success, there is no success with that penalty. Solve simulacrum is removed, the cogne simulacrum is destroyed, the 25 logic bonus is lost, and the wearer permanently gains the paradox solved feature. Paradox solved, the character can use their heroic act regardless of their momentum without spending momentum. Okay, the paradox solved is cool. But you're essentially saying that we should have Pascal waste 3 AP every turn for the rest of the game in the hopes that he can then just trigger his heroic act whenever he wants. Interesting. A very weird option. Form an alliance, it gives the same thing. Lore Warp just gives security. So Adira's is the same as making it submit. And then Demolition is Cassia's. No Callous Cogitation boards, which would give us... May the signal run free over the wires. May the ocular eye be forever clear. May the enemies of the Omnissiah be cast down. +5 to torpedo speed. Pascal, try and form an alliance with the Null Caliph. Request approved. Transferring revelations on the mediator's creation. So we gain the thing. Magos Pascal Hanneman imparts his secrets to the Omnissiah's servants on Kiava Gamma, allowing them to assemble a mediator device that softened Null Caliph's voice. The Magi then prayed to the mighty machine spirit, humbly asking it to make an alliance with the rogue trader and share its mysteries. Null Caliph answered, halting its sacred calculation. It bestowed its favor upon the supplicants. With its tireless, unblinking eye observing the warp currents, many a traveler have been saved from peril. Cool. And is that meaning it's just... Was it Janus that we were still working on? Yeah. Janus has the Great Fire going. You guys are all done. We should have gotten some new weaponry. Yeah, Triumph and Fury. Medium range. 5 shots of 30 damage. I think we will place the short range. 2 shots of 21 damage that we can fire twice. Which I think is this one, right? Nope. Alright, what do we have that can fill in here? That's what we have now. 4 shots, 21 damage. 3 shots, 33. 3 shots, 33. Okay. Yeah, I don't think we had anything else that was new. Yeah. So that's our ship upgrade. We could kill time until Janus finishes, but in that case, we're waiting for the Great Fire to complete, however long that will take. And I don't know if there's a good way of telling how long they take. And then we have to do whichever one we do here. So this will require Great Fire, which will be done. Janus Orbits is swarming with a fleet of refugees. By turning the entire world into an enormous staging point, the Rogue Trader will save billions of lives. Okay. So we gain Merciful Savior. When an ally is healed for the first time in a round, damage dealt by that ally is increased by 8%. Not super important, then we gain a bunch of people. Xenovivisectory. Janus' orbit is swarming with a fleet of refugees. They can be utilized as a workforce for the construction of a grand xenovivisectory for the study of inhumans. All witnesses will be disposed of. Wow, harsh. All allies gain plus 12% dodge against Xenos. Or a pleasure world. Janus' orbit swarming with a fleet of refugees. Welcoming the commoners would be pointless, but the Rogue Trader could offer a refuge to the aristocrats and turn Janus into a world of blessed respite for them, gaining powerful allies as a result. We'd get Watcher from Above, a primitive sword. And some profit factor. We're going to go with Shelter. So do I just kill time jumping around? I guess there's no harm. But I don't really want to jump to end game when we haven't finished all of our colony management. But in a lot of ways, our failure to finish colony management is because I haven't been keeping heavy focus on it. I wonder how long it takes. There we go. Janus has entered a new stage. Now we need to get back to Janus. Which was... No, that's Dargonus. Are we... Is this Janus? Yes, we're already here. Brilliant. Lord Captain, an Ordo Xenos punitive unit led by Acolyte Lynette Hugh has arrived on Janus. The Inquisition's forces have already taken control of the government palace and intend to inquire into the recent anomalies on Janus. Heinrichs, why was I not notified of their arrival in advance? Well, clearly because the Inquisitor is not communicating with Heinrichs anymore. Yeah, so the Xenos, Ordo Xenos is probably unhappy with all of the Eldari ruins on Janus. This is an Eldari world. Heinrichs, why was I not notified of their arrival in advance? I am surprised that they have informed us of their arrival at all. It demonstrates a semblance of trust. How much did the Inquisition sniff out? The initial interrogations have set Lynette Hugh on the tracks of the wretches towards the anomalous region, but her people continue to dig deeper, so to speak. So we could let the Inquisition do their job, which would give us hexagrammatic grace, logic 10, coercion 10, persuasion 10. Meh. We shall trick them, have my servants persuade the Inquisition that there's nothing of significance on the planet, would give us one less profit factor. Or I order the expulsion of these impudent fools from my world, lose efficiency, complacency, and security. What do my officers and advisors think? Cooperating with the Inquisition would do us more good than trying to hide the current misfortunes of the colony. I can send them a message to keep us informed about the interrogation, as a favor. If only we could throw them a bone and let them find the evidence they want. One that we can get by without. The rest could be concealed away from their inquisitive eyes, like a sand lizard shedding its tail. Sometimes one must cede the battle to win the war. I see only one way to make the Inquisition sojourn on Janus brief. Be proactive and give the Acolyte what she's looking for. Yeah, so we can give them all possible assistance. And we get something different. Wearer gains plus 15 intelligence. At the start of their turn, they suffer 1 direct damage. That is interesting. Plus 15 intelligence is cool, though. Let the Inquisition do their job, or expel them. I think from this moment the Acolytes shall receive all possible assistance in their investigation. We are still working with the Inquisition. We think the Inquisitor might be up to something, but we haven't really figured that out yet. Like, if he's doing something wrong. And generally, aiding the Inquisition as a whole is a good thing. It's the best option. The Inquisition will be satisfied and Janus will return to normal all the sooner. Rogue Trader servants eagerly set about finding the smallest trace of anything that might be useful to the agents of the Inquisition. Lady Zoo's people were so inundated with denunciations and testimonies that the Acolytes suspected sabotage disguised as aid. However, the zealous assistance bore fruit and put the Inquisition on the right track. After Lady Zoo had set up her headquarters at the governor's palace, she began to investigate the situation on Janus. All those feeling guilt for their crimes before the Emperor could only stay silent and pray. During her investigation, Lady Zoo was able to establish that the genetic changes in the wretches' bodies were caused by mysterious substances secreted into the water by xeno-obelisks. These substances did not contaminate the water until recently, as shown by the analysis of the Magos Biologus. The same xeno-obelisks appear to be linked to a chain of energy communications, also serving as a source of unknown radiation that seemed to have caused the outbreak of contaminated growth in the currently uncontrolled sector of the planet. This also seems to be causing the appearance of the mysterious phantoms. According to Lady Zoo's theory, there may be some sort of ancient mechanical construction on Janus that has awakened from its slumber. It is possible that the anomalies occurring on the planet are merely the side effects of the blasphemous machine trying to start itself. Okay. Then, final project. Yeah, I don't really care about any of those. So, shelter for all the refugees. As for this new item we just gained, Pascal, how would you like a plus 15 to your intelligence? It's going to penalize your tech use and logic, but you're currently getting a plus... Oh, it goes into that slot, of course. You're currently getting plus 20 to each and a reroll. This will give you a plus 15 to each, plus everything else. Intelligence. No reroll. But still, I think that's probably better overall. No. Go back to Janus. We've got an event to take care of. Do we not have an event to take care of? Is that... It's a Dargonus. Okay. Sure. We're running a little bit long, but I think we're getting close to being done with all of our worlds, so I'm just wanting to finish this up before I end the stream. Hopefully no one's going to complain about it's playing a bit longer than normal. Alright, Dargonus, what do you got going on? The planetary authorities have begun a rigorous purge of dissidents, mutants, and apostates. The spree of arrests and executions has the people terrified. We can encourage the authorities, gain a security, lose a profit factor. We can replenish the losses with new colonists, which seems reasonable since we did have a bunch of refugees. It'll cost us 3 people, but it will gain us efficiency and security, which are the ones we don't need. We could inspire the people to support the authorities' actions, which will give us security and efficiency without the cost of people. We can ban the purges, which will gain us complacency and people at the cost of security. I'll just inspire the people. Gives us the same result. Inspire the people to support the authorities' actions. Upon seeing the planetary authorities not as tyrants but as wise protectors, the commoners will be delivered from their fear and charged to help the keepers of law and order in their cause of cleansing the world. Okay. Let's keep traveling back and forth to Janus, waiting for it to finish its next colony building. Come on. There we go. Janus. Your lordship, a monstrous storm has broken out on Janus. Apocalyptic anomalies are tearing our agri-world apart, and their epicenter is the corrupted sector. Something must be done for the whole colony before the whole colony is destroyed. We must find the source of this madness. Come down and report exactly what is happening there. The moaning earth, the purple glow in the sky, fires crashing on the ground from above and turning all they touch to ice, a terrible noise sweeping through the cities and killing anyone who hears it. The furious storm has covered half the continent, but we can see its epicenter from orbit, the ruins of a xenostructure complex. What we thought to be the debris of buildings has turned out to be a machine, and now it rouses from its sleep, emitting blue and purple lights from the spheres fused into it. The deadly spirits that have become more material, and now everyone can see that they are not dancing. They're fighting and chanting two names, Halcyon and Kessie. Thankfully, there are much fewer of them than there were before. Gaps have even appeared in the horrifying cyclone of dance, twisting about the epicenter. What do we know about this cataclysm? The leader of the Inquisition squad, Lady Zhu, did not grace us with a full report, since she has been hastily preparing for the expedition into the heart of the anomaly, but she mysteriously claims that we have become witness to an ancient feud between xenos, and in spite of our unfamiliarity with their conflict, it is important to choose our ally in the struggle wisely, whatever that means. All the wretches in custody have instantaneously gone mad. We cannot pull a modicum of information from them, even though we have a sense that they understand what is happening much better than we do. My people shall help the Lady Zhu break into the heart of the storm. 100% success, or 97%, send the best enforcers into the heart of the storm, have them find its source. Our people will help Lady Zhu break into the heart of the storm. The escort squad reports that the people of Lady Zhu are demonstrating incredible skill, swiftly dealing with the anomalies and advancing towards the epicenter. Our people have reached the Xenos ruins that once served as either a palace or a gargantuan machine. They've encountered an extremely high concentration of spirits. It appears the spirits are fighting amongst themselves, with two particularly vivid ghostly figures among them. One of these prominent spirits radiates blue light and seems to be clad in Eldari armor. The other is engulfed in purple flames and clad in a Xenos ceremonial raiment. They utter sounds reminiscent of Eldari speech, but any attempts to translate them have proven unsuccessful thus far. We have an Eldari in our crew. Can we not get her help in this? It is an old dialect from before the time of the fall. Order your warriors to aid the spirit wreathed in blue. It fights for the Lelathan's purity against the despicable sorcery. Even an echo of this spirit's voice is enough to understand that its cause is just. I can teach our people how to explain to the blue spirits that they are not their enemy. What does it matter what those spirits are babbling about? They both must be slain. Et vetter, turn to your warriors and inspire them to fight for their home to the very last. They've already made the sacrifices to get this far, so remind them what those sacrifices were for. Lady Zhu intends to fight both sides of this spirit conflict, but your soldiers are waiting for you to confirm her orders. Tell the squad to support the blue spirits, Irliet. Make sure that the men know the right words. Tell my warriors they fight for Janus' future, one where the world is free from vengeful Xenos and that the Lord Captain is watching. I'm ordering them to attack the spirits both kinds, or do not engage, maintain visual contact. Interesting that we don't have an option to fight for the other spirit. We can side with the blue spirit, or we have two options of just fighting against both. But yeah, we're going to side with Irliet. Make sure the men know the right words. Support the blue spirit. The scouts attacked, destroying the purple spirits one after another. The blue phantoms recognized their new allies and did not harm them. Once the battle was over, the dignified spirit, swathed in blue flames, reached out to the scouts' thoughts, granting them visions. The planet which was inhabited by Eldari prior to the fall, at some point became one of the many theaters of the war between sensual excess and dogma that reigned over the Xenos of that time, and ascetic self-restraint. A local ruler, Cassie, was enlightened and wise, yet susceptible to depravity. In his desire to transfer his soul to another form of existence, he created a mechanism that would let him take over the bodies and minds of all his people. One of the ruler's bodyguards, named Halcyon, rose against the tyrant and mortally wounded him, but could not stop him from merging with the machine. Halcyon then gave his life to bind his own spirit to the device and continue fighting therein. This tragic conflict marked the end of all Eldari on the planet, but preserved an echo of their souls and those of their leaders. And we gained Lelathan's Fury, an Eldari weapon. It's unfortunate we don't have an Eldari person who likes one-handed weapons. We could give it to Jai, though we never use her. Weapon adorned by xenos artisans to keep the memory of the Genesian spirits wreathed in purple flame. When the wielder deals damage to the target with Lelathan's Fury, the target becomes blinded until the end of combat. The first attack with Lelathan's Fury in a round against the blinded target does not set the attack on cooldown. Okay. Then the spirits disappeared, but for how long? The bodies of the fallen and a strange relic discovered amid the ruins were the only proof that, for a single day, Janus was once more engulfed in a war between long-fallen xenos. And we gained shelter. And Kyrurgian medkits. Okay. Effectively remove traumas. And is that Janus done as far as I care to? I think it is. So we are now actually ready to go here, because I think we have done basically everything else I was intending to do. So we need to go up here to Vivos. And then we can head over here. Keva Gamma requires our efforts. Really? Unvanquished Tech Heresy. I think these aren't like real events, like tied to projects or anything. They're just small decisions we can make with minor changes. I don't think I'm gonna necessarily go there. But yeah, I think we are now ready to jump in for this final mission. Endgame, I suppose. So we're going to end the stream here, and next time we will head in and see how it goes. Thank you all for watching, and I will see you then. Bye.